This is the new DS7, a mid-sized SUV that is designed for people who want plenty of practicality and comfort. But importantly, it's also designed for people who want a touch of style. The DS7 is essentially a facelifted version of the DS7 Crossback, but for 2022 and beyond, DS have ditched that name in favour for just DS7 and updated its looks, tech and engines. Overall, the shape is much the same as the previous car, but it all has a bit more flair. The front looks much more edgy and cool. It's got this daytime running strip with the DS light veil that almost looks like the light's beaming through the bodywork. The headlights look much sleeker and meaner than they used to. They don't swivel like they did on the previous car, but they are matrix LED, so they're much smarter and brighter than they were before. It has this massive front grille, which, I don't know, might be too big for some, but I don't mind it. And of course, the very distinctive DS badge there in the middle. Along the side, it has good proportions. The wheel arches are quite muscular. You get a choice of wheel sizes ranging from 19 to 21 inches. There aren't too many colour options. On lower spec cars, you only have a choice of grey or pearl. Around the back, the style continues with these really detailed rear lights, sculpted lines and rectangular exhaust tips. I'm not sure these reflectors on the rear bumper had to be quite so enormous, but overall, the DS7 is a clear improvement on the DS7 Crossback. So, the outside is okay, but the inside is very nice. It actually hasn't changed all that much for this facelift, but that's no bad thing. It comes in a variety of trim levels, so you can have black or grey leather or Alcantara. And this trim level is called Opera, and it's lush. The leather on the dash and the doors is embossed with this pattern that looks very much like those front lights. And I really like this beautiful pearl stitching. It really just shows that attention to detail that they've gone to make this interior really special. I like the seats too. This sort of watch strap upholstery is really nice. And talking of watches, check this out. So this clock was designed by French watchmaker BRM, who makes these very exquisite watches. I'm really intrigued by the attention to detail that they've gone to for the window buttons, but I think they look really stylish. And also this sort of geometric diamond pattern is everywhere, which I guess is a nod to the DS badge, but you'll notice it all over the car. In the rear, you'll find a good amount of space. The seats are comfortable and supportive, with a button that allows you to recline a few degrees for extra comfort, and there are 2 ISOFIX points. Storage is good, thanks to the decent sized door bins. There's an armrest with 2 cup holders, 2 USB ports, and vents with individual temperature controls. The sunroof is a good size too, which helps it feel airy and bright. And the good news is that the battery pack on the plug-in hybrid models, like this one, don't affect the amount of space. There isn't a ton of underfloor storage, but on higher trim levels, you can get a variable height boot floor, which gives you space to keep your charging cables. The DS7 costs from £37,000. The most basic cars come with a 131 HP diesel, but if you opt for the entry-level 225 horsepower plug-in hybrid, that price jumps to 43k. If you splash out on the 360 horsepower plug-in hybrid and options, then the price tag can reach as high as £62,000. I'm in the most powerful version, the 360 4x4. It has a petrol engine that drives the front wheels and 2 electric motors, one at the front and one at the back. It's quite a quick car. I mean, it's not the most exciting to drive, but it is fast enough. It does 0 to 62 in 5.6 seconds, and it does have enough oomph if you want to do any overtaking, or if you just generally want to drive like a hooligan. Both 300 and the 360 are 4x4s, but it's definitely not designed for off-roading. But it should give you just that little bit more confidence in trickier conditions. The plug-in hybrid system is one of the best things about this car. You can run it on petrol, which means that you'll obviously get decent range, or you can plug it in and run it off the battery. Now this actually only gives you about 36 miles tops, but that's absolutely fine if you're just going to do short commutes. The battery can be recharged at home from a normal 3-pin plug in around 7 hours, or in under 2 hours from a home wall box. Bizarrely, even though it's the most powerful, the E-Tense 360 4x4 is also the best on fuel. DS reckon it can do 238 miles per gallon, although this is only possible if you've charged the battery fully using a plug at home, and only if you're very gentle with the accelerator pedal. Once the battery loses all its EV range and is no longer able to contribute as much to the journey, you can expect closer to 40 miles per gallon. When you're in electric mode, this car is really comfortable. The suspension is really soft and it's nice and quiet. When the engine kicks in, it's a little bit jarring, but it's nice enough. On the subject of that suspension, all versions of the DS7 come with active scan technology, which, when you're in comfort mode, uses a camera to read the road ahead for surface imperfections and adjust the suspension to a softer setting. That doesn't stop it being jarring over potholes, especially with the bigger wheels, but it does help. The brakes are smooth, which is not something all plug-in hybrid cars manage to get right. The steering wheel feels consistent, accurate and light, and wind noise is pretty well suppressed. But not everything is perfect in the DS7. One new feature is the infotainment system, which has been upgraded to the latest version, so it's the same as we saw in the DS4, but it's not very user-friendly. The icons are straightforward, and you can change and customise the layout according to your preference, but there are just some things I find really annoying. I don't think it looks very pretty. And also, the main temperature gauge is on this main screen, which is fine until you use Apple CarPlay or SatNav, and then you can't access them, which doesn't make any sense to me. But there are a few extras that help make up for this. The DS7 has the option of heated and cooled seats with a massaging function. There's a heated steering wheel, a 515-watt focal hi-fi, and even a night vision system, which, admittedly, is something of a gimmick. There's definitely a lot to like about this car. They've clearly put a lot of thought into the design, both on the inside and on the out. It's really nice to drive, it's quick, it's refined, and yeah, I'd say it does have a touch of style. Whether it's stylish enough to warrant the price of top-spec cars will be up to you to decide, but it certainly provides all the practicality you'd expect from a car of this type, as well as comfort and style that will help you stand out from the masses, all of which combined make the DS7 a car that's well worth considering.